Did you ever wonder how Android apps are made using Python programming? Let me tell you. Python programming language consists of n numbers of inbuilt libraries which are used in performing different tasks and helps in making graphical user interfaces as well as apps. So from a list of 10 to 15 libraries, today we are going to focus upon the Kiwi library, a very powerful tool for making Android apps with the help of Python. In this particular video, we will be going through 3 different modules. The first module will consist of the introduction to Python for Android and the libraries used in Android. The second module will focus upon the Kiwi library, its widgets, its labels, etc. And the third module will focus upon the making of some cool Python Android projects. So stay tuned to grab your share of knowledge that's headed your way.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video with any queries or suggestions and I will respond to your comments.
Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So right here we're going to start out a new topic, and that's Python for Android. So in this respective topic, we'll be seeing that what is Python for Android, what it is used for, and we'll be seeing up the libraries which are used, and then we'll be going on to the hands-on with the 3 different projects which we have lined up here for this respective video. Okay. In this complete way, I just gave you a very short intro about this Python for Android video, this particular tutorial that we are going to follow up today. After further this particular Python for Android is divided into 3 different parts, into 3 different modules. So the very first one is the that's right here onto the next one, that's Introduction to the Python for Android. Okay. So into this respective very first module, we'll be going to the intro to the Python for Android, and we'll be seeing up that what are the modules and what are the libraries which are used in the Android, okay, from the Python programming language. So this is what respective we have into this first module of ours for this Python for Android. Okay, so what we'll be doing up here is that let's go proceed on with the very first thing, and that's what is Python for Android. Okay. Now, if I talk about Android, so you all must be very much aware of Android, that what is that nowadays, because it's a very common thing, I would say, in between students and in people as well. Okay. So now we will be studying that what is actually Python for Android. Okay. Many of you must be thinking out that how we can build up the apps in Python and how we can just make that turn into APKs and how we can make up the Android apps actually, right? So this Python for Android, this respective course is designed in that such a way that today you'll be getting up the clear idea that how you could make up the Android apps with the help of Python programming language. Okay, so first of all, I'll be discussing up that what is Python for Android. So Python for Android, it is an open source tool which completely helps you to build up the Android apps. As I told you in the introduction as well, that it is one of the tools, I would say one of the open source tools. Open source tool means that you do not need to buy this out or anything like that. Simply whatever is the requirement, just install that onto your device and you're ready to begin up your Android apps of making. Okay. So onto that respective case, I would say that it is an open source tool which helps you to build up the Android apps. So in the case whenever you are building up to make up the Android apps, so Python for Android is a one open source tool which you could use that out. Okay. Now, it as well helps to package the code written Python in the Android APKs. Now, what it as well helps you to do, rather than making up the Android apps only, it helps you to package up the code written, whatever the code is written by you for making up a respective app. So it just make up a package of that respective code in Python in the Android APKs. It means Android packages. Okay, this APKs is actually mean for Android packages, the full form. Okay, so whatever the code has been written by you in Python, it packaged that in the Android package. Okay, package that in the Android APKs. Fine. So this is second respective thing what Python for Android actually helps us to do. Now, What kind of or what type of operations do we have here in this Python for Android? Okay. So here we are having two respective type of operations. Python for Android can support two operations. The very first one is that for Android devices, it can compile the dependencies, backend libraries, etc. So for the Android devices, what it does, it can compile up the dependencies, the backend libraries, and it can sort out all of those respective things. Okay. Next, it as well provides the interface for dependency. So it as well what it does, rather than only completing the compiling dependencies, it as well provides you the interface for that respective dependencies. So these are the two operations which actually Python for Android can support. Okay. So it for Android devices it can compile the dependencies, backend libraries, etc. It as well provides the interface for the dependencies. Hope I'm very much clear with this respective thing. That what well, first of all, Python for Android is. It is one of the open source tools which helps you to build up the Android apps. Second, it is as well helps to package the code written Python in the Android APK and completely supports out two operations. The first one is for Android devices. It can compile the dependencies, backend libraries, etc. And second is that it also provides the interface for the dependencies. Okay, next. Now, what about the modules and libraries which we have here for the Android? How we just have them out, modules and the libraries. So the modules and libraries for Android which are listed under the Python programming language are Kiwi, Beaver, Panda 3D, Pyglet, PyOpenGL, Pygame, and Arcade. I would not say that these are only the libraries. No, it's not the case. There are some more libraries as well which you have out here. But these are the most used libraries whenever we are willing to go for any app making in the Python programming language. Okay, these seven are the most recommended and most used libraries. And rather than these seven as well, Kiwi is one of the most used library which you have out here. Okay, so it is really very one which is very much popular and a very used library for building up the Android apps. Okay, we will be as well seeing up some practicals for the Kiwi library as well further in the video. Okay, so make sure that you list out the libraries and the modules which you have here for Android. That's Kiwi, Beaver, Panda 3D, Pyglet, OpenPyGL, Pygame, and Arcade. Okay, fine. So right now here we learned about that what are the modules and libraries that are mainly used in the Python for Android. Okay. I would again repeat, I am not saying that these are only libraries. There are further more libraries as well, but these are the most used libraries which you have here in the Python programming language, which is used for making up the Android apps. Okay, so hope I'm very much clear with that respective thing. Okay, so fine. Now what we'll be doing is that let's take out a quick summary, a quick recap of whatever we have understood here for the Python for Android and libraries. So firstly, what's Python for Android? So it is one of the open source tool which helps you to build up the Android app. So for building up the Android apps, this particular open source tool is used out. It as well helps to package the code written in Python in the Android APKs. It as well helps you to package the code written in Python in the Android APKs. Okay, and it supports two operations, which are first one is for Android devices. It can compile the dependencies, backend libraries, etc. And it also provides the interface for the dependencies. And the libraries for Android which you're having are Kiwi, Beaver, Panda 3D, Pyglet, PyOpenGL, Pygame, and the Arcade. Right? So hope I just made up these respective things very much clear to you. Now we're moving towards the further topics for this respective module, that's Python for Android. Now we'll be discussing about the Kiwi library in a very much detail. Okay, so we'll be going to the Kiwi library. Now let's check out the agenda for the Kiwi library, that's what it is actually. So here we'll be going to the introduction to the Kiwi. We'll be checking about out that what is the Kiwi library. Second, we'll be going to the widgets in Kiwi. So what are the widgets which we have in the Kiwi library, that we'll be going through. Next, we'll be moving toward the layouts in the Kiwi. So what type of layouts do we have and how to implement that out. And at last we'll be moving towards the events and properties in the Kiwi. So what are the events and the properties in Kiwi, that we'll be seeing up. So this is the complete agenda that we are going to follow up here. Okay, so now what I'll be doing is that let's move next towards and jump on to the very first topic, that's the introduction to the Kiwi library. Okay, okay, as we are discussing up, we have taken a particular topic, that's Python for Android. So obviously, whatever the things I'll be discussing up today, that will surely be related to somewhat making up of the Android apps, right? And sometime, some minutes before only, I just told you, I just mentioned up some libraries and modules which you have in Python programming language for making up the Android apps. So onto those 7 particular libraries, you were having this Kiwi library at the very topmost position, right? We'll be discussing about this Kiwi library only. So from this much of introduction, you must have as well got an idea first of all that what is the Kiwi library used for. So yes, Kiwi is one of the library in Python which allows you to make up the Android apps. Okay, for building up the Android apps, for making up the Android apps, Kiwi is one of the most used out libraries which we actually have here in the Python programming language. Okay. So into that respective case, Kiwi is a library which is used out. Okay, moving towards the next, we are having that whenever we are writing up the programs with the help of the Kiwi library. So what we can do actually is that we can make the apps which run on iOS devices, Android devices, and desktop computers as well. Okay, so here what happens is that whenever you're writing up the programs, okay, whenever you're writing up the programs, you're making up some apps with the help of the Kiwi library. So in that case, there is no such compulsion that you should run this app onto Android only. No, it's not that case in the Kiwi library. You could run whatever the app you have made either on the iOS devices. It supports the Android devices, and even it supports up the desktop computers. So whatever you are willing to do and for whatever the operating system you want to make this app and perform, you are absolutely good to go with that respective thing. So Kiwi library doesn't has any restrictions that if you're making the app onto this respective place, or you're writing the program in the respective place, so you could run that only onto that respective only. It's not that case. Okay, so whenever you're writing up the programs with the help of Kiwi library, you could make apps which run on the iOS devices, Android devices, and as well the computer desktops. Fine. Okay, next, with the help of the Kiwi library, you need to write the codes one single time, but can run on different devices. Okay. So let's say you are having some 2-3 devices with you, and onto each of them you just want to run out a certain app. Okay, so in that respective case, there is no such compulsion, or yeah, I would say compulsion only. There is no such compulsion with you that you need to write out that respective code in each and every of the devices onto which you want to run that out. It's not that particular case in the Kiwi library. So with the help of the Kiwi library, what you do, you write out your code onto one of the devices at one single time. Okay, and you could run that particular code onto different devices also. Okay, it's not that case that it shall be present onto each and every place. Okay, so with the help of Kiwi library, you need to write up the codes one single time, but can run on different devices. Okay, right. So hope I'm very much clear with the very first introduction to the Kiwi library. That firstly what it is used for, secondly what type of device it supports, and third we have discussed the sake of easiness with the Kiwi library. Now moving further, we have next that what are the widgets in the Kiwi library? What are the different widgets which we have here in the Kiwi library? Okay. Now, first of all, let's discuss up that what are the features or what are the respective modules or libraries which are used for making up the widgets here. Okay. So widgets are sort of, let's say you want to perform or add some GUI elements into your code, or what are the app you are making. Into that respective app, you want to add on some GUI elements. Okay. So into that respective case, this Kiwi is a library which is used out. Okay. So into that particular case, we just use on the Kiwi library, and that's what are the widgets. Okay, so whenever you are planning to perform or add on some graphic user interface element onto your apps or onto your code, so onto that we use the widgets. And first of all, this is the very first use of widgets, that why they were introduced in the Kiwi library, so as you could add on some GUI elements to your code, to your app. Okay, next, now how we make up the widgets in the Kiwi library. So in that particular case, for creating and managing of the widgets in the Kiwi library, what we need the kiwi.uix module. Okay, Kiwi is my module and UIX is one another function which you have here. So it completely becomes kiwi.uix module, and that is completely used for creating and managing of the widgets in the Kiwi library. Okay, so hope I'm very much clear. Next, there are different types of widgets as well right here. So the first one is, let's say you have a layout, you have the screen manager, you have UX widgets, you have behavior widgets. There are many more widgets which we have here in the Kiwi library. Further, when we'll be implementing the practical for some sort of project we're making up into this particular video only, then there I'll be introducing to you to the widgets as well with the practical. So there only you could get a clear idea regarding these different types of widgets, that what are these and how are they actually used out. Okay, so firstly the widgets, basically what are they used for? They are required for performing and adding up the graphical user interface, that is the GUI elements. Second, for making up the widgets, for creating and managing up the widgets, what we use from the Kiwi library only, we use the kiwi.uix module. Okay, and basically and completely there are different types of widgets as well. So the widgets which we are having are layout, screen manager, UX widgets, behavior widgets. So these are different types of widgets as well which you are having out here. Okay, so hope I'm very much clear with this widgets in Kiwi as well. Now let's move toward the next point and let's see that what's the next topic which we have here in the Kiwi. Now let's check out that actually how do we install out the Kiwi library onto our devices, because we are going to jump onto the hands-on. So let's quickly see that how to install out the Kiwi library onto our devices. So here I'm onto my PyCharm IDE and here I'll be installing up the Kiwi library. So the very first thing that that shall be in your mind very carefully, that what is the Python version. Okay, make sure you have some Python version above 3.7, or it would be very good if you are having some Python version of 3.9 or 3.9.6, any latest version of Python. But if not, then it shall be above let's say 3.7. okay, now the command for installing any other respective libraries we have in Python is pip install, and in front of that you write up the respective name of the library. So yeah, I am writing here pip install, and here goes the Kiwi. Okay, here goes the Kiwi. Okay, and hit enter. So this is the method how you install out this respective library for you onto your devices. See, for me right here it's already installed, so it is showing requirement already satisfied. But for you, if it is not at all installed, so for you it will take some time. It will take out some time for the installation according to your internet bandwidth. It will take up some time, and it will successfully install out that respective library for you. Now here I was using up the PyCharm library. So in that I was already having up an inbuilt terminal. Let's say you are using up some ITLE or anything like that in which you do not have any inbuilt I would say any inbuilt terminal or anything to install. So what you could do is that just quickly open up the command prompt. Okay, write up your CMD. It will open up the command prompt for you. Okay, so now you could write up and install this respective thing into your command prompt as well. So what you need to do is that here as well write up the same command, that's pip install Kiwi, and hit enter. So here as well, if you are using up any of the tool which doesn't has inbuilt terminal, so you could install up the Kiwi library using your command prompt as well. That also works out. Okay, I would close this out now. Great. So, hope I'm very much clear with this respective thing, that how to install up the Kiwi library onto your devices. And now further we'll be going ahead and quickly jumping onto the hands-on for this Python for Android. We'll be making some cool stuffs with the Python and with the Kiwi library. Okay, so now we'll be making a selfie app here into the Python programming language with the help of the Kiwi module. So before proceeding on with any of the things, I would give you the idea regarding that respective app which I was saying to make it out today. So onto that respective app, what we'll be doing is that first of all, that's a selfie app. Okay. So you will be needing the access to a camera into that respective case. Okay, other than that, we'll be giving up some respective dimensions that, okay, this much have the dimension of the layout which is going to come up. Into that, we'll be having up a button for clicking whenever you're ready for taking up that respective selfie. So this is how it's going to actually proceed on, okay. At last, I'll be for my confirmation that has my selfie been taken or not. I will be setting up a print statement, and that particular print statement will be printed as soon as the selfie has been taken out by me. That respective print statement will be printed. So in that case, I'll be getting up a very clear idea as well that has my selfie been taken or not. Okay. So that's a sort of confirmation thing. If you want, you could add. Otherwise, there is no such issue in that respective thing. Okay. Great. So let's proceed on here, and I will be writing up and importing up some respective libraries from the Kiwi only, some modules, and then we'll be proceeding on with the program for today. Okay. Alright, so here goes that from kiwi.app import this app. Okay, this app is one of the functions which you have in the kiwi.app module. So I have just imported that out. Next goes that from Kiwi. Okay, that's Kiwi dot uix dot okay uix was used for, I already told you in the ppt where we discussed about the ppt. In that I told you kiwi dot uix was used for setting up the layouts, right? Great. So kiwi dot uix dot for widgets and layouts for both. Okay, kiwi dot uix dot, and here goes the camera. Because we need to access to a camera, we need to run up the camera with this particular program only. So in that respective case, I'm importing up the camera here. Okay, so I would write import, and here goes the camera. Okay, great. Move down, and here I'll be writing that from kiwi.uix dot box layout. From kiwi.uix dot box layout. Import. Now what to import out? Import out the box layout, this respective thing. Okay. Next goes that from kiwi.uix dot button. From kiwi.uix dot, okay, here goes the button. What to import on here? Import on the button. Okay. Now these four respective modules have been imported by me here. What are they for? Let me just give you a very brief idea into that respective case. See, first of all, we are making up an app. So it was very much important for me to import on this app module. So I just did on the same thing. Second, what app we are making? We are making up a selfie app. Okay, we are making up a selfie app. So onto that case, what I'll be needing up the access to the camera, right? So in that case, what I will be doing is that here my camera as well has been imported out. Next, as I mentioned, that we'll be having up a box. Into that box, there would be a screen. Into that we'll be capturing up our selfie, and there would be a button to click. As soon as you click that button, your selfie would be captured, right? So we will as well be needing up a box layout as well, because all of the things which I was telling, that frame and the button all will be inside a box. So in that respective case, we'll be needing up a box layout. So I have mentioned up the box layout here, and I had even imported up the button. So this respective button, what is this used for? So this button is completely for, as I told you, I'll be making up a click button. So as whenever I am ready, I could click on that respective button and the selfie would be taken. So for particular that thing, I have imported up this button module. So hope I'm very much clear with all the things possible which I have mentioned up here, whatever I have imported and everything. Okay. Now, okay, 1 second. Let me do out one simple thing. Let me take this to the side. Okay, 1 second, like this, right? It's great. Now next what I am having actually here. Next what I'm having is that I will be making up a class. Make sure to remember out one more thing, that whatever the projects we make up in the Kiwi library, mostly we make up using the classes and objects only. Okay. So for using up the Kiwi as well, you should have a good knowledge, a good, or I would say a little bit of basic knowledge as well for the Kiwi for the classes and objects. Okay. Great. So here I'm having my one of the class which I'll be making. Let's say my class name is app underscore selfie. Okay, that's similar to my file name, so I would not make that out. I would make selfie app, selfie underscore app and a bracket. Okay, and inside this I'll be passing up that respective app module, app function which I have imported up. Okay, so selfie app is my class name. Getting inside, I'll be making up a function. Okay, let's say def make is my function name. Now I don't know that you're aware of this thing or not, but I would let you know that whenever we are making up any other respective functions inside a class, the self is one of the parameter which automatically gets passed on here from the function. Okay, so whenever you are making up a function inside a class, make sure to remember this, that a self parameter will automatically get on passed here as an argument in your respective function. Okay. After this, if you want to give any other parameters or any other arguments, you could do that out. Okay. So hope I'm very much clear. Next goes, now with the help of self parameter which has been passed, we'll be using up self, and here I'll be making obj underscore camera. Okay, I'm making up a obj underscore camera, and that what we'll be doing is that I'll be using up the camera function which I have imported above. So I just simply called that out. Okay, get me down here. Next I'll be having self dot camera. Okay, I will be making self dot obj underscore camera dot here we'll be setting up the resolution, that what is the resolution of the a particular thing. So let's say I am putting up 810, 810. Okay, let's say this is the idea which I had put on here. Fine. Getting down. Now what we'll be making is that I'll be making up I'll be making up a button for me. As I mentioned, that click button, right? So let's say that's obj underscore buttons. Okay, that's button is equal to my button function will be called up here, and here inside that I'll be writing up text is equal to, now what is the text which you want to put onto that button? So that is, let's say, click like this. Okay, so this is the text which I want to put up inside that button, so I simply wrote that out. Next, what will be the size of that respective button? Okay, so here goes obj underscore button dot size underscore hint. Okay, the size underscore hint is a parameter which allows you to put up the respective size of a button. Okay, that's equal to, and let's say my size I put on here is 0.6 comma 0.3. Okay, great. 0.6 comma 0.3 is my button size which I want to put out here. Fine. Now next what I'm having, I would be putting up the position, that at what position you want to put that out. Great. So I'll be putting up here, okay, that's obj underscore button dot pos underscore hint. Okay, position. Fine. So my position which I want to make it up, I'll be storing that in the form of a dictionary. So I have the key is my x. What is the value for that? My value is, let's say, 35. Okay. Secondly, I am again having a key, that's my y, and the value for that respective key is again, let's say, 35. Okay, I want that x and y values to be absolutely same. So here x goes 35 and y is as well 35. Great. Now, what I'll be doing is that I'll be writing up a command to set on that as soon as I click on that particular button, my selfie shall be taken out. Okay, so for that I'll be taking obj underscore button dot. Now we have the bind function. Bind means to associate it with that particular command. Okay, so bind, and here goes on underscore press. This is one of the parameters which you're having. On underscore press is equal to self dot, And here next we are having a selfie. Okay, so here I'll be mentioning up, let's say, okay, I'll be making a one another function, so that only I'll be mentioning up. Let me do that out. So I'll be getting up here. My next function would be div selfie underscore take and the brackets like this. Okay, so I'll be mentioning of that only here, selfie underscore take. Okay, let me set it out pass out here. Fine, great. So on underscore press is equal to selfie self dot selfie underscore take. My that particular function will be called out as soon as I click on the this particular button which is being made out by me on the line number 11. Fine, okay, that has been completed. Next, I'll be now making up the layout. So let's say obj underscore layout. Obj underscore layout. So into this, I'll be using up this box layout and the brackets like this. Okay. Next, I'll be having obj underscore layout dot add underscore widget. I'll be adding up the widget. What is my widget? My widget is self dot obj underscore okay, that's bracket obj underscore camera. Okay, this is my widget which I want to put on obj underscore camera, which I already made up above. Okay, onto that I have called up the camera function and I have made up my resolution. Fine. Next here, next goes obj underscore layout dot add underscore add underscore widget. Now my next widget which I want to add is my obj underscore that's obj underscore button. Okay, this is my second widget which I want to add out, and here I would simply return that would be obj underscore layout. I simply return that out. Right, so I hope that this particular chunk of the program is very much clear to you, that what I have just done out here. Okay, now next I'm left with the other part, that is for taking up the selfie. Okay, so here the self parameter has been passed, and what I would do is that I'll be putting up a comma here and I'll be passing up the asterisk arcs. Okay, right here is fine, so it's asterisk arcs. Fine. Now getting down here, what I said to you in the very starting of this particular project, that I will be writing up a sort of print statement that would help me to confirm that whether my selfie has been taken or not, right? So I will be writing up a print statement that print selfie has been taken successfully. Okay, selfie has been taken successfully, my print statement. And now even I want to save out this particular image as well to somewhere, right? So for that, what I'll be doing is that this obj underscore camera dot, here I'll be using up the function that's export to png. It means that whatever my file will be, that will be saved up in the png format. And let's say my file name would be that's demo selfie.png. Okay, my file name, right? Great. Coming out of both of my functions right here, getting down and coming out of my functions, what I'll be doing is that I will be calling up my main function. So inside my main function only, I will be running out my class. So my class name was selfie underscore app. So here goes selfie underscore app dot run, and I put on the brackets like this, right? And here I completed out this respective program. Let me give you the clear idea of this particular program once again, and then we'll be running out this out. Okay, so the very first thing I did is that I imported out my relevant libraries which are needed up here. Kiwi.app, from that I imported up the app. From kiwi.uix.camera I imported up the camera. From kiwi.uix.box_layout I imported up the box layout, and from kiwi.uix.button I imported up the button. Okay, then I simply made on a class that is selfie underscore app. Okay, and with that particular selfie underscore app, what I'm having, I made out a function inside that, that's the make function. Okay, now what is that make function actually used for? So I'll be getting down inside that. I stored many of the things. First of all, I made on the obj camera, that is for calling up my camera function, and secondly I set it out my resolution, that what's the resolution which I want to set out. Then I made up a button that what should be written onto that respective button, so click shall be written up. Then I gave up the size of the button, the position of the button. Fine. Then at last here I used up a bind function which was used that I will be clicking on this particular button and the selfie would be taken. So selfie underscore taken function I have defined up here. So as soon as I click on the button, this respective thing would be done. This print statement will be printed and my file will be saved in this respective format. Okay. Next, here I simply made up a box layout. I added the widgets, both of my widgets, and simply returned the layout. Then inside this function, I already told what it is written, one print statement, and saving my file in the PNG format. And inside the main function, I simply run out my respective class. Now let's run out this program and check out that what have we actually done out here and what are we actually getting out as an output. Okay, let's see that out. So, okay, these things actually come out whenever you are using up the Kiwi library. So, these things actually come out. Okay, so if you are able to see them in the red somewhat, so do not panic that I'm getting these errors or anything like that. It's basically work on a little bit of slow basis. Okay. Okay, what it is saying me too that selfie underscore app dot run is basically one positional argument self is missing. Okay, let's check that out, that what it is actually referring to me. It's basically referring anything to me in the very last line that I have mentioned up inside the main function. Okay, what does this particular thing, okay, let's check that out. Self comma asterisk args, so that's completely okay. Let me do out one single thing. Let me put out a dot slash and here goes. Now that's absolutely okay because that's the correct position. If name is equal to mean selfie underscore app dot run. Okay, what did I do above? Did I mention up anything special? App underscore, okay, selfie app is completely okay. Dot app is working fine. And inside the bracket self has been passed on. That's absolutely actually okay. Here self is passed. Okay, self dot camera is done. Return I have layout and here goes my run file. Don't know what's the issue. Let's run that out again. So because I just missed out one simple thing at the back, so let's see that was that something with that only. Okay, it's saying to me that in line number 25, okay, in line number 25, selfie underscore app dot run missing one required positional argument. That's the self. Okay. Okay, let's take that out. Let's do one thing simply. Let's add on one time self here, but I don't think so that it would work out something like that. Self dot selfie underscore. No, it won't work out like that. We have to do some changes above only whatever we had made. Let's put on the things right here. Okay, so we were getting some sort of error regarding the selfie thing, regarding here the self object which we had made up. So that sort of error was because I haven't put on the brackets right here. Okay, these brackets were missing up at this respective place. See, why it is compulsory to put that out? So above I made up my class that was app underscore selfie, right? So after making up that respective class here, this bracket was missing, which was actually put up onto the class which I had made up. So that's why it was compulsory for me to put this out up, and I had done that. So now what I'll be doing is that I'll be closing up my camera from here because it won't run with the one of the camera opens, it won't run out. Okay, so I would close that out from at this particular place, and now I would run out my respective project. So as soon as I click on run and see virtual Kiwi window, this Kiwi one is appearing here, this respective window is opening and my camera has been opened, and at that respective place, yeah, here, so I am back with my camera. So this is how you could take up your selfie here. And if I just simply click on click, right, I clicked on this and see on the downside it showed me that selfie has been taken successfully. See, I double clicked, that was the reason it was showing me actually I double clicked, so that's the reason it is showing me two statements up here. Okay, so hope I'm very much clear with this respective thing to you. So what I'll be doing is that let me go minimize this out, and one second, let me do one single thing. I would minimize this. Let's see, yeah, I could actually, I would keep it up here. And what was our file name? Demo selfie.png. So where is that? Yeah, so here it is, my selfie, and I will just double click on that, and see, this has been taken right here. You could match that out actually as well. So this demo selfie.png has been saved up here at the respective place. So this was my file name only which I had taken in my project. So my project was, yeah, this was my project which I had taken, and onto that only I had simply set on my file name, that was demoselfie.png. So it has been saved up from that similar name only, right? So hope I'm very much clear with this respective project to you all, that how we make out a selfie app here in the Kiwi library, right? Hope I'm very much clear with that respective thing. Okay, so now is the time we will be making up a next app with the help of the Kiwi library. So the next app that we'll be making with the help of a Kiwi library is the calculator app. Okay, so we'll be designing up a calculator app right here, and with the help of that Kiwi library, we'll be designing up the respective things. Okay, so hope I'm very much clear with first of all with this respective thing, that what are we going to design out here. Great. So now let's do out one simple thing here. Let's import out the relevant libraries. First of all, what are our requirements, and after that we'll be moving forward, right? So, okay. And even before importing on the libraries, let me very clear give you an idea that what kind of app it would be. So as we have out the normal calculators onto our devices, you have in your Android phones, and okay, take the complete idea of a calculator which is in the Android phone. Okay. So in that same type of calculator, today we'll be making up with the help of this Kiwi library. Right, so I hope I'm first of all very much clear regarding the idea. So what will be happening? There will be a box, a rectangular box we'll be having up, and with the help of that, inside that box only, we'll be having different buttons. Okay, so on each and every button, the respective number or the respective sign will be mentioned up. So with that respective thing, whatever number you click or whatever the sign you click, and after that when you're going to click up the equal to button, so you'll be getting up the required operation. Let's say you want to add 1000 and 5000. So you write out 1000, you put out the plus operator, you write out 5000, and you click on the equal to button. So it will give you the final addition of both of the numbers, and that is 6000. Okay. So rather than addition, you'll be having addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These will be signs which you'll be having out. Right. So hope I'm first of all very much clear with this respective thing, that what are our requirements for this particular project and how we'll be proceeding on for making up the calculator app in the Kiwi library. Okay. Now, see, here the things will be a little bit of different from the previous project. So I would request you to please make sure that you listen up to my words very much carefully, whatever I am trying to explain you right here. And even I would recommend you that start writing out the project with me, start writing out the code with me right here only, because it would be a little bit of longer code. It is not too much short. It would be somewhat around a longer code. So start writing out with me the respective code. Okay. So what I will be doing is that first of all, I'll be importing up the relevant libraries which I am having. Okay. So from first of all, everything will be imported up from the Kiwi library, right? So I wrote from kiwi.app. Okay, this Kiwi is my library onto which we are working, right? And basically there are sub-modules, sub-libraries inside this particular Kiwi library. So whatever the respective thing you want to import it out, whatever the respective thing you want to use out from there, you are always like, you could just use out those respective things from wherever place you just want out, okay? Let's say from kiwi.app, what I want to import is that I am making up an app here, right? I'm making up an app. So I really want to import out the app function only. So for importing out any other relevant function, the very first thing that needs to be followed up is that you need to actually need to mention up that from which library you are importing out, and then what you are importing out, that is as well to be mentioned up here, right? So hope I am very much clear with this particular thing to you first of all, right? That from kiwi.app import app. Okay. Next, as I told you, see, we are making up an app. That's the reason I imported out this app function here. Okay. Now, next goes that what I want is that I'll be using up a button. Okay. Those buttons will be what are the numbers I'll be putting. All those numbers will be stored in that buttons, and I'll be having an equal to button. I'll be having the operators. That operators will as well be in the form of buttons. So in calculator, what we have different sort of buttons, right? We just click on that buttons and just perform our relevant operation. So in that same manner, here as well, I will be mentioning up different types of buttons, and according to that only, we will be having up the things. Okay. So here goes that from kiwi dot uix dot button, from kiwi dot uix dot button, here goes import, and this is my button function which I want to import it out. So that respective I have as well imported out here. Fine. Great. In the very starting of the introduction for this particular project only, I told you that what we'll be having, a box. Right, inside that particular box, we'll be having many types of buttons, and that will be basically helping us to calculate out or to find out the respective operations on the numbers. Right, so in that same manner, we'll be importing up the box layout as well. Okay, so here goes from qb.uix dot box layout. Okay, from qb.uix dot box layout import, and what I'll be importing, I will be importing up the box layout function. So this is how we do, right? This is how we do. Okay, while writing up of the things, please make sure that you are actually paying a good attention towards the small and towards the caps. Okay, it's very much important here to make sure that you are very much paying attention towards the small and the caps. Okay, great. So from qb.uix, you just imported up the box layout function, right? Great. Now, okay, what I'll be doing is that I'll be importing out one new type of layout here, that's the grid layout. Okay, remember when I told you about the layout onto the PPT that we had seen? So there I introduced you to 7 types of layouts, right? So from those 7 types of layouts, box and the grid. These are the 2 most used layouts which you have in the QB library, okay? So into this respective project, I am importing up the box layout, and as well as I will import up the grid layout. Now, what's the use of the grid layout? See, we will be having different buttons, right? So what we'll be wanting is that we'll be wanting that equal number of rows and the equal number of columns, okay? And columns and rows, what they constitute? They constitute out a grid. So inside the calculator only, we'll be making up a grid, and according to the places onto that grid, we'll be setting up the buttons onto which the numbers would be written out. Okay, so for that particular thing, I would be writing again here that from qb.uix dot, and here goes the grid layout. Grid layout import. Okay, that is import, and that is import grid layout, right? So from qb.uix.grid layout, import grid layout. So now make sure that for the grid layout, G and L would remain capital. Okay, please make sure to do out that respective thing. Great. Next, what I'll be doing is that next one more thing I'll be importing up here, that's the label. So whenever you just want to write out anything onto that calculator or anything like that, so we use up the label function. So here goes that from qb.uix.label. From qb.uix.label, import this label function. Okay, L would be capital for the label, right? One second. So LABEL, right here. Okay, so all my requirements which I was having for this respective project have been imported out by me here. The requirements were, first of all, I am making up an app, so it was really very compulsory for me to import on the app function. So that I have done at the very first place only, right? Rather than that, what you're having first of all a box, right? So my box layout function has been imported. Next, I was having a grid inside that box. So grid layout is as well being imported. Third thing, what I was having up a button. So whatever the buttons will be putting up, buttons will be the numbers. So all the numbers will be writing up into the buttons format. So buttons have been imported. And after that, we will as well be wanting out a place where we'll be writing up whatever the numbers we click on and whatever the operation we are performing, we as well want to see out the result. So for that particular thing, label is the function which has been imported out here, right? So hope I'm very much, first of all, very much clear with the requirements that are to be used in this particular project. Great. Now, next what I'll be following up here is that now I'll be wanting up a calculator, right? I'll be making up a class, right? So class, and my class name is, let's say, calculator. Okay, CUL calculator. Fine, my class name is, let's say, calculator. And inside the bracket, you put on here as a variable, which is app. Fine. because I am making up my respective class, in that I would be needing to put up the respective name. Okay, and inside that app would be absolutely passed because we are making up a app. Next what I'll be doing is that I'll be making up a function def, and my function name is build. Okay, and inside the bracket self will automatically be passed out here. Right, this is the particular thing now that I will be needing up here. Great. Next, I'll be coming up downside here, and what I'll be setting is that I'll be now setting up different widgets. Okay, different what type of box layout you want, and what will be the label size, and all these things I'll be. What are your button symbols? So these respective things I will be now mentioning up. I'll be specifying out my relevant specifications which I have for this respective calculator app. Okay. So I will be writing out here widget WID widget underscore root, my variable name. Okay, that will be set on as equal to the box layout like this. Okay, widget underscore root is equal to box layout. Now into the bracket, what I'll be doing is that I'll be setting up a orientation. Now what is this orientation for? Orientation, I'll be setting up that, okay, whatever the thing like my box is of the format, I want my box format to be in this respective way. Okay, so okay, that's the orientation, and my orientation which I'll be setting up is in the vertical format. Okay, vertical format. So that's absolutely okay. If you want to put on the horizontals, yeah, you could do, no issues from my side. But you actually know what's the difference between the vertical and horizontal, and which will be set out as a good orientation for your calculator app. Okay, so that's the reason I just simply put on my vertical orientation. Getting down, what I'll be doing is that I'll be setting up a label. Okay, so for that label I'll be setting up some x and y values, right? So some y value, some size value, and some font size. So here goes label underscore op, that's the label underscore output, and here goes my label function which has been imported above. Right, so label, and into the bracket I'll be putting up here the variable that is size underscore hint underscore y, and that's equal to, let's say value which I'm putting is 0.75. Okay, this is the size of y. Next what I'll be putting up here is the font size. So font underscore size, let's say my font size is 51. Okay, I just put that out. Great. So these is like respective things have been mentioned up by me. Now what's the next thing that comes up here? See, we have a very fixed layout for the calculators, right? Like 1, 2, 3 in one single row, then 4, 5, 6 in another row, then 7, 8, 9 in another row. And whatever the like label we are having, you could set that according to your choice. Okay, see how I'm going to set that out. I would write symbol underscore button. The symbol underscore button is equal to, now I'll be storing that in a form of a tuple. Okay, let's say first of all I put on 1, separated by a comma I put on 2, separated by a comma I put on 3, separated by a comma. First of all I'll putting this space as blank here. Okay, comma, and getting down. Okay, here goes my 4, and space, here goes my 5, and here goes my 6. This one as well will be remaining like this only. Putting up a comma and getting down. After 6 I am having 7. Next I'm having up here as 8, and here we are having as 9. Okay, separated by a comma, and it goes up like this. Again I will be putting up a comma here, and here will be going my number which is 0 if I want actually. Okay, 0 goes out here, comma, I will be keeping this as blank. I'll be keeping this, okay, yeah, this as blank, comma, I'll be keeping this as blank. Now why I have just set all of these things blank, because these are my buttons, these are my places where I will be setting up the operators. Okay, that which operator, what to follow, and all those things, right? So now in that case what I will be doing is that I will be setting up the different things for these operators as well. Right here, let's say above I want to set up the operator which is plus. Okay, let's say here I want the multiplication. Okay, let's say here I want out the dot. That's a decimal. Okay, let's say here I want to put up this division operator, right? Okay, subtraction right here. And this will be a equal to sign. What will be this equal to sign for? It will be basically when we click out this equal to sign, it will give me the answer for the operation which I have performed out. Which means that, let's say, I added 2 plus 2. So what's 2 plus 2? It's 4. So when you want to see up the what's the addition of 2 and 2, so in that respective case, you'll be clicking up this equal to sign, and it will let you know that, okay, this is the respective output for, or this is the, you could say, addition for 2 and 2. Okay, hope I'm clear with that. Great, that has been made up. Now what I am left with to design in my calculator. See, the functions will be separately written out. Right now we are only designing out our calculator. That how is the design gonna be for my calculator. Afterwards I would be adding all of the relevant things which I would be having out. Okay, right here. Now I'll be making up a grid underscore button. So while this grid will be made, so as to basically set up the proper row and column, right? So as to set out the proper row and column, I'm using this grid. Fine. So here goes my grid layout function which we have imported above. Okay. Now what about how many columns we are having? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm having 4 columns. Okay. And okay. Now here goes the size underscore hint underscore y. So let's say that I'm setting up here as 2. So the size will be going as 2, right? Great. Now next thing what I need to do is that whatever the symbols, whatever the numbers, or whatever the operators I have mentioned up here, I want all of those respective operators to be printed on one single button, right? I want that out. Right now, if I just run out my program, it will simply display 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and the relevant operators. But no, I don't want out that particular thing. What I want is that I want that whatever the numbers I have set out here, I want all of them to appear over the buttons. To appear on the buttons actually, right? So for that, I will be applying up a for loop. So here goes that for okay, let's say for symbol in symbol underscore button. For symbol in symbol underscore button, putting up a colon here, getting down. Here I will be writing that grid underscore button variable which have been made out by me, onto which what I had set out the grid layout. So grid underscore button dot add underscore widget. This will completely help me to add on the relevant things. And here goes my button. And inter bracket, what will be my text? So my text will be the loop which we had set on, and this is the symbol. Okay, symbol will be my text, because this is a like sort of indexing which we are taking, right? So here I am simply mentioning up symbol, right? So it will completely help me to put on all of those respective operators or the numbers onto the buttons which will be generated here. So in total, for each and every operator and for each and every number, button will be made up, right? Great. I hope I'm very much clear with that. Okay, next thing what we'll be having, we as well, okay, everything is set up here in this respective calculator. I have the operators, I have the numbers. Now what is left in this particular calculator to be added out? Is there anything left out? Yes, one thing is still left out here, and that's my clear button, CE button, which you see in the calculators, right? That's the clear button. So we will as well be adding that clear button onto our particular calculator app. So let's do that out. Okay, here I'll be making up the variable that's button underscore clear. Okay, and that will be equal to okay, here I'll be using up that button function. Inside the bracket, what text will be written? So text, let's say I want the text to be written as CE, because that's the only one which makes up the things clear, right? Beyond the calculator, it's written out CE. So let's do that out. I'll be writing up CE here, fine. Comma. What is the size underscore hint underscore y? So that I'm setting up right now. Here is none. That's not needed. And what will be the height? So let's say height I'm setting up as 100. Fine. That specifications I have given up here. Now next what I'll be doing is that I'll be making different functions to store out different things. Def. Now, okay, my function will be text underscore print underscore button. Text underscore print underscore button. Fine. And inside that, let's say I pass on a like a parameter, you call it as instance. Fine. So text print button, my one of my variables. What it will do? It will help me to put on the text, right? So here goes my label underscore op, that's my label underscore output dot, here goes my text is equal to, okay, that's plus equal to, plus equal to, and here goes the instance dot text. Okay, see here what is actually happening. So in my label underscore op, what did I store out? Let's go above and check that out. See, what did I give out? I gave out the label here, right? That this will be the label like a size for the y, and this will be the font size. Now whatever the operations or whatever the numbers or whatever the operators I will be clicking up, those respective operators will print it on the above label. Above label means above space, which will be provided to us in the calculator. So for that particular thing, as soon as I click on, let's say I click on the button which is 3, I clicked on 3. So above there will be a rectangular space present, and onto that rectangular space, what I'll be getting, that 3 will be displayed to me onto that respective place, right? So hope I'm very much clear with this particular thing to you, that how it is actually gonna be. Fine. Great. That has been set up instant.text, and this particular line is actually like it's actually the one that's label underscore op.text is equal to label underscore op.text plus instant.text. Okay, it's similar to that only. Great. Fine. Now here I will be applying out my for loop. So for one line down, here goes for button in button underscore okay, that's grid underscore button. So for button in grid underscore button dot, and here goes the function which is children. Okay, into the bracket what I'll be putting is 1 colon. See, what it is gonna do is that whatever the things you will be having, whatever the things, like let's say I just clicked on a button, I pressed on a button. So whatever the number will be present on that particular button, it will come and appear onto the above label, above blank space which is present. So for that we are writing up this out. Okay. And next basically what I'll be having out here only is that I'll be writing up here button dot bind. Remember I told you bind function in the previous project only. Bind is basically used for setting up a thing, right? So here goes on underscore press, that's equal to text underscore print underscore button. So as soon as you put on or press on a simple button, whatever the buttons will be presented, as soon as you press on that respective button, whatever the text is there, that would come and mention up on the blank space above, right? So hope I'm very much clear with that. Great. Now how to set up the size, like what's the font size there? Fine. So for that I'll be making up a new variable, that is def label underscore text underscore size, my variable name. Okay, that's okay, not that is the def. Fine. Now inside the bracket, first of all I'll be passing up the label, comma, what I'll be passing up a variable, that is new underscore height. Great. Getting down here, I'll be using up simply label, the one which I have right above used out, label dot, here goes my font size, label dot font size, that's equal to right here 0.5 multiplied by, here goes a label dot, and here goes my height. Okay, 0.5 multiplied by label dot height. Great. Okay, that instead of height, I guess it would be new underscore height, the one which we have used above, right? Okay, let that be height only, I guess. 1 second for height. Fine. Great. Now getting down here at this particular place, what I'll be doing is that I will be writing up here label underscore op dot bind, and into the bracket what I'll be writing? I'll be writing up the height is equal to, what will be the height? That will be label underscore text underscore size. The bracket won't be put up here and neither here as well, I guess. Yeah, brackets won't be there. Great. So we set it out our size for the email, for the text which has to be written above onto that respective case. We just set out a size, right? Now, next what is basically we'll be doing up here is that now we'll be making up a function, and that will help us to evaluate whatever is written onto that label. Let's say we wrote 4 plus 4. So now it will that particular function will help us to evaluate that result and give you the final output, right? So in that case, def, and let's see result. Result is my function name. Into the bracket, I'll be passing simply the instance. Getting down here, now I'll be using the try and except function. So we try and except. I goes here that label underscore op dot text, okay, is equal to, I'm using up str, I'm using the eval function which helps you to evaluate out, right? Eval into the bracket. Now what I'll be having label underscore op dot text. Fine. So what it will help me to do is that it will help me to evaluate whatever is written into this respective variable, which is label underscore op. It will help me to get out the text from there and help me to evaluate. Let's say I wrote 6 multiplication 4. So this eval function will help me to evaluate out that particular thing, right? Great. Next, what I'll be doing here is that I will be having out the except function. So except, and I would simply mention up except instead of that I would write except exception as E. Okay, E would be capital right here as E. Fine. Getting down here, and now I'll be simply printing up the E in that case. Okay, so if any exception occurs, that relevant exception would come to us as an output. And after this, what I will be doing is that I'll be using up the button. So here goes grade underscore button dot dot children. That is the one function which we used up above. Into the bracket, I'll be setting up here as 0. Indexing starts from the 0. Okay, dot. Here goes my bind function which helps me to click up the button, right? Bind. And here goes that on underscore press is equal to, on press is equal to, and that is my result function, right? So as soon as basically the things work out, in that case it will be getting me the result. If basically we are having the try, if the try function try block executes, it will show me up the result, right? Great, that has been set it up. Okay, now what I'll be doing is that I'll be making up a here only a clear button has been made up, right? Only we made up a button clear. Now we need to write out a function to basically to work that clear button as well, right? So here goes def, here goes label underscore clear. Inside the bracket goes here the instance. Fine. Putting up a colon, 1 second. Let me see above that what's the name that was written, button underscore clear. Fine. Okay, so here goes label underscore op dot text, and now we do not need any text because we want to clear up that space, right? And now here goes my respective variable, that was button underscore clear. So it was button underscore clear. Okay, 1 second. Button underscore clear dot. Here goes again my bind function, bind, and inside the bracket on underscore press is equal to, and that's the label underscore clear. So as soon as I press out this button underscore clear, as soon as whatever is written up here, that gets executed. Simply come to this particular function and execute out this particular function. This is what this code means, the short chunk of the code means which I have written out here, right? So hope I'm very much clear with this particular thing. And at last, simply the widgets are to be added out. Other than that, we just finish up everything. Once again, brackets are to be removed out. Fine. Getting down here, I'll be adding up the widget. So it's, let's say, root. Okay, it's widget underscore root. We already made it over. Okay. Dot add underscore widget, and into the bracket first of all goes my label underscore op. Next goes again the widget underscore root dot add underscore widget dot add underscore widget, and into the bracket it goes grid underscore button, right? Next, what is my widget which just need to be added? Widget underscore root dot add underscore widget, and into the bracket what it is? It's basically the a button underscore clear, right? Button underscore clear. Fine. And now what to return out here? Simply you need to return up the widget underscore root. Widget underscore root has to be returned out here. And now after coming out of my class, what has to be made? Simply, what was my class name? My class name was calculator only. Calculator dot run. So now basically here my run function will be performed up very clearly, right? Now what I would do is that I would take you above to this respective project once, explain you the complete one, and then we'll be running this out. That at what place what I have done out here, right? So for the very first thing, I have imported my all of the relevant libraries and my modules and my functions which are to be made up here, which are required in this respective project. Okay. So I imported up the app, I imported the button, I imported the box layout, I imported the grid layout, and even I imported up the label. So these will all respective functions, so you say modules, whatever you say out, these respective things were necessary into my project. So I have imported all of them. Then here goes making one of my classes, that is the calculator class. Okay, and inside that app was passed this respective module. Okay. Next, I made up a function that is build. Okay, and inside the bracket, I put up self, right? Make sure you write out this particular only. Don't change the name of the function, okay? Then, I set it out my box layout, that the orientation for my box I want to be vertical. Fine. I set out the label size, that this will be the label size and this will be the font size. I put on the symbol buttons, that onto the buttons. What will be the symbols that will be present out. After that, I made up a grid inside that box, which will be having 4 columns, right? Next, for putting up the symbols onto respective buttons onto one single button, I used up this particular for loop. Then I made up a clear button so that whatever the text you have written afterwards, if you just want to clear that out, so you could just clear that quickly. So for that, the CE button was made out, above which CE was written. Now this is the one of the particular functions which will help you to print out the text onto the buttons, right? Next, for this particular for loop for button grid button, this will help you to print up the whatever the button has been clicked on. It will help you to print that particular text onto your label place where it has to be showed up. Okay, onto the above blank space, I would say. Then this next thing was as well the font size, that what will be the font size which will be printed onto the label. What will be the font size for that? Fine. Then this is the result function which will help you to get the output, and this output will be getting through the eval function. So eval function will relatively evaluate whatever is the operation done, whatever is the statement written, it will evaluate out. If basically the try block runs, then you'll be getting your output, and if the except block runs, so in that case you get out your relevant exception. Then basically the grid button is as well made out, that when you press up this respective result, what you get out. Okay. Next here you made up that clear button. Simply above the button was made out. Here the code has been written for to be executed, that as soon as you press on that clear button, so what you want to get as an output. So whatever is written, you want that to be erased out, right? And on press the label underscore clear button, just erase out whatever is written. And now the widgets have been added. Widgets, what were these? These were the special GUI tools which you add in your code. So widgets have been added up here. And simply here goes written widget underscore root, and here I simply run out my respective class into which I have written all of the code for making up my calculator app. Right now what I'll be doing is that I'll be running this out quickly. So run on calc. So okay, these things whatever were mentioned up here, these things I will actually execute out. These things will come. Okay. So please do not worry in such a case that I'm giving errors or anything like that. Whenever you are running up the Kiwi library, whenever you are using up the Kiwi library, actually these things come. Okay. So we have to actually wait out a little bit for getting up the respective output whatever we are having. Okay, this library actually takes up a little bit of time to get executed and give you the resultant output. So right here, okay, it came down there. I just clicked on that. Great. So this is how my calculator is actually looking out. See, it's my plus sign, it's multiplication, it's dot, it's equal to minus, divide, 0, 1, 2, 3, everything is present. This is my CE button. Let's say I wrote out here 2. I clicked on 2 and see what is happening. This 2 is appearing up here. Let's say I wrote 2 multiplication. I clicked on multiplication sign and multiplication is coming. And let's say I wrote out 8 here. Find the 2 multiplication 8. And if I press on the equal to sign, see what it is coming? It is coming 16, right? And now if I click on CE, so whatever I wrote, that simply got out erased. Fine. Let's do that once more. Let's say I wrote 470. Okay, let's say 470 and I wrote out here plus. And let's say I worked on, let's say this. Okay, and I click on equal to sign. So I simply got out the addition for the numbers, whatever we had made out. And I would again do CE and whatever I had written, that simply got erased out, right? So this is how you will make out a calculator app in the Kiwi library with the help of Kiwi library. Okay, let's quickly test out rest of the remaining operators as well, that are they working correctly or not. Let's say I wrote 9.6. Okay, 9.6 multiplication is done minus let's say 8.2. Okay, and if I just do CE, so see, I just get out a very exact output here, right? Up to somewhat up to many decimal places as well. Right, I would again click CE and 1 is where that is division. Let's say 5 divided by 9. And here goes the equal to sign. This is somewhat which is the your output for 5 divided by 9, 0.555 somewhat. Okay, and I click on C. Right, so hope I'm very much clear. And one thing right here is as well needed out to be explained that okay, instead of this equal to sign, if you just want to put on some other thing as well, so you could do that out. Okay, you could do that particular thing as well if you want to change this out. Let's say instead of this I simply put on O/P. 1 second. O/P. Okay, that will as well work out. I would just again click on the run here. That's getting run, and right here it is my, see here I get out my OP. Okay, okay. One more thing, this Kiwi library takes only one time, the very first time only, to execute in a little late manner. After that, when you are going to execute out the same project, it will execute it very fastly. So let's say I just do out somewhat same thing, multiplication 21, and I click on OP. So yeah, that's working, and I click on CE. Great, so hope I'm very much clear with this particular thing to everyone. That's how it actually works out, right? I would close this out. So wherever I use out this on underscore press function, so that respective is actually helping me to click on that particular buttons and execute out the relevant functions for those buttons, right? So please make sure that you like write out this respective things very much clearly. Okay, one more thing was left, orientation, right? Instead of vertical, what if I set it as horizontal? So horizontal, my orientation, let's say, is horizontal, and I again run that out. See what is going to happen out here. See, this is why I was saying not to set out as horizontal. See, now you are not getting anything looked up here, right? You are not getting anything as an output or nothing like that. See how it is working, right? It's miserable, right? So in that respective case, I was saying not to put up the orientation as the horizontal. Simply the orientation has to be vertical, because in that respective case, you'll be getting up all the numbers and everything very much clearly, whatever has been set out by you, right? So vertical will actually work out fine. Okay, one thing has to be done up here is that it just to be new underscore height, right? This thing was actually to be mentioned up by me, and if I just run that out, I hope that, okay, I hope I got out some label as no attribute. Okay, yes, that is not to be actually mentioned up here. I would remove that because it's one of the attributes which we are using, right? It's one of the attributes that we are using. So you can't change this height to new underscore height. Okay, please make sure to remember out this particular thing as well. So now I'm going to run this at the very last time, and after that we'll be moving toward the next project. So let's say this and this and this, and here goes my output, right? And here goes my C. Okay. So I hope that you're very much clear that how to add up the things, how to make up a calculator. Now into this you could have add many more functions of your choice. You could write anything according to your choice. Let's say here you were having a button of CE. Your equal to button is present out. Let's you want to add on the percentage operator. What are the operators you want to add on? You can add them according to your choice. See, this was a clear idea which I gave you out that okay, this is the way how you could make out a calculator. Now, what the specifications you could add, what more things you could add, that completely depends on you only. Right? Fine. How much more features you could add onto this respective, I would say respective calculator app, and what more things you could do. That all are your choice only. Fine. One more thing. Here, whatever the class name you are gonna make out, that respective class name is gonna come as a final output. See above onto that Kiwi library. Just besides the sign of the Kiwi, it's basically gonna come out that particular class name. Okay, so please make sure whatever the number you are giving, whatever the class name you are mentioning out, that would be coming up as the name for your particular window that's gonna appear from the Kiwi library. Right, so hope I'm very much clear with the this particular app of the calculator app, that how to make that out with the help of the Kiwi library. Now let's quickly jump on to the next project of ours, and now we'll be seeing that what's the third project that we are going to make out with the help of the Kiwi library. So let's see that out quickly. Okay, so now here we are having our third project for this Python for Android, and that particular project which we are going to discuss is the College Library Management app. Okay, so we'll be making up an app, and that would be completely belonging to the College Library Management, right? So hope I'm very much clear with that respective thing, that what are we going to make and what are we actually going to design up here, right? As we are moving ahead with the Kiwi library, so yes, that would completely remain up the same, only that's my Kiwi library. Okay, great. So like while doing up the previous two projects with me, I hope that you are a little bit more comfortable while using up the Kiwi library, right? See, as soon as you practice up the things, you is like start becoming a more and more and more confident onto those respective things. We already did up two projects. Now it's the time for the project number 3, and I hope that this respective project you'll be able to do many things onto your only. Okay, so let's get started out. See what kind of it is College Library Management app. So you'll be having up a Kiwi library, and with the Kiwi library you'll be making an app. In that app you'll be having some sort of specifications like the student name and the book registered, or do you have any you say what you say that somewhat a fee into that respective case, or do you have that book due, or you'll be having some certain features like that only. Okay, so that app will help you to store out all of those respective things, right? So this is how we are going to proceed up here with the Kiwi library. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write that from Kiwi. For the very first time, I'm going to import here the app. Okay, that's absolutely okay, I guess, with everyone. That why do we do that also from kiwi.app? Okay, so from kiwi.app, import app. Great. Next here goes that from kiwi.uix.grid-layout import. From here, what I'm going to import? I'm going to import out the grid layout function. Fine. So from kiwi.uix.grid-layout import grid layout. Next, I'm having that from kiwi.uix.label import, and here goes the importing of my label function. Okay. Next, I'm having that from kiwi.uix.text input. Okay, text input. So from kiwi.uix.text input, what to import out here? Import out the text input function. Okay, and here for the next thing, you need to do that from kiwi.uix.button. From kiwi.uix.button import, here you need to import up the button. Fine. So these are the 5 things which I need into my project. These are the 5 requirements which I have actually imported up here, which are required in this respective project to be used up. Okay, I'll be using up the app. the grid layout, the label, the text input, and the button. Okay. Great. Getting down, I'll be making up my class. Like, let's say my class is library underscore grid. Okay, library underscore grid. And into the bracket, I'll be passing up that grid layout. Great. Getting down here, I'll be defining up the init function inside my class. Div underscore underscore init, and here goes myself. And here I'm gonna pass comma asterisk, and here would be quarks. Okay, wonderful. So I hope that I'm very much clear with this respective thing, that what did I actually do out here. Okay, getting down here, I'll be making up a super class. Okay, super class or super function. I'll be using up this, and inside this, what I'll be doing is that I'll be passing up my class name. That's lib underscore grid, right? That's lib underscore grid, comma. Here goes my self dot, and I'm going to initialize that out. So I have simply initialized that out. Now it's asking that how many columns you want out. Let's say I want up the 4 columns. So self dot calls is equal to 4. Okay, great. Getting down here, now what next thing do I have here? I'll be now adding up my respective widgets. Okay, now in front of each and every widget there will be a space. What sort of a space it will be? It will be a sort of a space in which you will be allowed to enter your respective input. Let's say you are having up the widget as student name, or you are having as a widget of name of the book or issue date. So in that respective case, you will be allowed to set up your input onto that respective case. Okay, so this is the idea. Let's get down and start up here. So it's self dot add underscore widget function, which will help us to do, and that's what we imported above, right? Inside the bracket, I'll be using up my label function, and inside that label, what is your text that you want to put up there? So let's say my text which I want to put up is student. Okay, that is student's name. Okay, this is my text which I want to put up there, and it would go somewhat like this. Okay, let me just get out a little bit downside. Great, fine. Coming down, I will be having self dot a name. Okay, and that so is equal to okay, self dot, let's say it's self dot name underscore 1. Okay, and that so will be equal to my text input function. Text input function, because we will be inputting and we'll be taking up the text from the user. So in that respective cases, text input was a function that is used out here. Okay, coming down, we have self dot add underscore widget. Okay, and that would be which widget to add out. That would be self dot name underscore 1. Okay, so I'll be adding up the widget of that respective variable, which will store up the information from me that has been entered by the user. So that's how it is doing up here, right? Okay, this one is done for the student's name. Next would be, let's say, self dot add underscore widget. Here we have the label, and then next we are having the text is equal to, okay, it will be capital. Once again, let's make that out here, and like this, right? And wire this out, fine. And next will be the name of the book. Okay, this will be my second thing which I'll be needing up here. So in that case, as well, it goes self dot book underscore 1, let's say. Okay, that will be equal to my text input and the brackets here. Okay, getting down, I have here self dot add underscore widget. So for what the next widget has to be added? It has to be added for book underscore 1 variable, that is storing up my input from the user, right? Great. Next, coming down here, what I am having up here is that I will be next using up some other things. So in that case, I'll be writing up, let's say, it's self dot add underscore widget. Into the bracket, what do I have? I have my label. Then what's the text? Let's say my text is issue date of book. Okay, my text which has to be put up onto that thing, onto that place, right? Getting down here, and we are having self dot book underscore one. Okay, self dot book underscore one, and that so is equal to text input. Fine. Coming down, I'm having self dot at underscore widget, and into the bracket. Okay, book one. I sorry need to change that out. Let's take that issue underscore one. Okay, and here would be again self dot issue underscore one. Okay, fine. The issue date has been done. Next thing, let me get down here. Great. Next one goes for my return. So self dot return underscore. Sorry, here goes my first of all add underscore widget. Here I'm having up the label, and here I'm having up the text, and that so is equal to I'll be having the return date. So it's return date of book. Okay, return date of book. Okay, one bracket would be removed out because these are not needed. Fine. Here I'll be having self dot okay, return date. It's return underscore one. Okay, that is equal to the text input and the brackets right here. Okay, getting down, it is self dot at underscore widget, and here we are having self dot return underscore one variable. Fine, return book is as well done out. Next, what I will be having as well the fine. So if basically a student is charging the fine, so it would be self dot, let's say, add underscore widget. Here would be my label, and what about my text? So my text would be fine. Okay, if I any fine in the bracket I would mention up that if any. Okay, this is how it would work out. Getting down here, next I'm having self dot, and my variable would be fine underscore one. Okay, that's equal to, now this would be equal to my text input on the bracket like this. Next, I'll be writing up here self dot add underscore widget. So it's self dot fine underscore one. Okay, fine underscore one. So this is as well completed up. Now I am having one single thing. I'll be making up a button as well that will help me to print out all the information which I have stored up onto that respective Kiwi app. Okay, so for that I'll be mentioning up here self dot okay, that would be somewhat, let's say, print underscore info. I'll be making up a button. Okay, self dot print underscore info is equal to, and here it is button, into the bracket you have the text. So what is the text? Text is that it is click here to print the info. Okay, listen, this is my text which has been put up. Next would come here self dot it would be the function which is press dot bind, and into the bracket on underscore press parameter PRESS on underscore press is equal to self dot, and that would be okay, yes, that would be now a function that we have to make up. Okay, let me define up the function here only. Afterwards I'll make it up down. Okay, okay, that is click button. Okay, my function name. Fine, click button. And getting down here, I will be having self dot, that would be add underscore widget, and here will be self dot press. Okay, great. Getting down here, let me get back here out of this respective, one second, out of the first function, and then I'll be making up the second function, that would be click underscore button. Okay, and here goes my bracket. Self is passed, and I'll simply pass the instance as well here. Okay, here goes my print all of the statements that print name of the student. Okay, and this goes colon, here goes my plus sign, and here goes self dot it was name underscore one dot text. Okay, this is how it is gonna be. Next would be for printing up the name of the book, right? To print, here's first next one, it goes name of the book. Fine. Putting up the plus sign, and here goes itself dot as a name. Okay, it's off right here. One second. Name of. Great. And what was the name of the book? I guess that was book underscore one variable, right? Yes, book underscore one dot. Here was the text. Getting down. Okay, let me get out some space here for writing. Fine, this is completed. Next, my print statement would go print. Next, I'm having it's the issue date. Issue date of the book. Okay, here again goes a plus sign and it goes self dot issue underscore one dot, and here goes the text coming down. Next print statement I am having brackets. Here goes the return date. So it is the return date of the book, right? Putting up the plus sign, and here goes my self dot, and that is return underscore one dot tex. It will actually remain same for everyone, okay, everything. And here I'm having up my next print statement, that's right here, print, and into the bracket it would be any fine, okay. And here goes a plus sign, and here goes self dot fine underscore one dot text. Okay, so what it will do, it will help me to extract all the text from my app which has been made up by me, and it will give me that as an answer. Okay, great. Now here what I'll be doing is that I'll be making up a library app class. Okay, so here goes my class, and this is my app 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 library, name of my class, and into the bracket here will be app as passed on. Okay, inside that goes my build function, and into the bracket self is passed, and here what I'll be doing is that I'll be returning up my above class name. What was that? That was lib underscore grid, right? So it was lib underscore grid. Okay, this I'll be returning up with the brackets. Coming down, making up my main function of the Python, and right here I'll be again using that app underscore library class which is recently made it by me, and clicking up and using up here the run function, right? So what we did up here in this respective project, let me quickly give you an idea, then I would move forward with the rest of the things, with the output finally. So right here at this respective place I imported up my relevant things, relevant libraries which I needed. That was app, it was grid layout, label, text input, and the button. So these are the five sort of I would say these are five sort of libraries which I was needing. Okay, so I just imported that out. Next, I'm having lib underscore grid, my class, which I just made up. I mentioned up the columns, and here I started adding up my widgets. Okay, so my widgets will be first of all a student's name, and in front of that, it will get me a blank space, a blank. I would say what it would be said as a space for writing, a box for inputting up the text. Okay, same. Next, I made it for the name of the book. Same, a box will be appearing for this as well. Thirdly, I was having issue date of the book, then I had return date of the book, and then I had a column for fine if any, and then I was lastly having up a button that was helping me to print up all the information which is right now stored in that respective app. So for printing all of those, I simply use up my print statements and the variables in which my information will be stored. After that, I made up a class here that will be storing up my app. So that is done. And inside that, I returned up my above class. And inside the main function, I here run up my class made out by me. Now let's quickly run out this program and let's see what's the output which we are getting up here. Okay. What it is actually, live object has no attribute press. Okay, let's go above and check that out. That where did we mess up? Okay, one second, right here. Okay, this is self dot. Okay, that is, I'm so sorry, that's print underscore info, and here as well it would be the same only, that would be print underscore info, right? It would remain the same only. Okay, whatever the one which we have used above, that would remain same. Now let's quickly run that out right here once again and let's check it out further. Great. So here it is my college library management app, which is completely appearing here to me. Now here I have student's name, I have name of the book, I have issue date of the book, return date, fine if any, and this is a button for me which is click here to print the info. Let's input out some student. Let's say my name only I'm putting up here. That's, let's say, Shambhavi Gupta. We are able to do that. And what's the name of the book? Let's say the name of the book is The Alchemist. Okay. Then what's, let's say, issue of the date of the, okay. Let's say it's 12. It's, let's say, 12 October 2021. Okay. What's the return date? Let's say I will be returning in 10 days. Let's say 22, 10, 21. Fine if any. So right now, let's say we do not have any fine. So it goes no, and click here to print the info. So see onto downside, onto my window. Here I am getting up the respective information which has been printed up by me right here at this particular place, right? Name of the student and the name of the book, the issue date, the return date, everything I'm simply getting up here. Now I mentioned 4 columns. That's the reason here I am getting 4 columns, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now what if I make up some respective changes onto this respective, if I make up the columns value, let's say as 2. Now what will happen? Now if I quickly once again run out my program here, so see, this is how it will be getting up. What is the student's name? Let's say student's name is ABC. Name of the book, let's say that is somewhat XYZ. Okay, that is, let's say, XYZ. Okay, issue date, let's say it's 10 12 21. Okay, return date, let's say it's 23 12 and here goes, let's say 21. Okay, fine, let's say fine is rupees 20. So I could simply mention this as rupees 20 like this. Okay, and click here to print the info. So here downside again onto the terminal, you got out your respective info once again. This is the second info which is up which I have run out, and you are getting that simply out here as an output for you, right? So you could as well change up the value for the columns. So it will change up the alignment for that respective case. It totally depends on to you that how you have set up the columns and how you are actually wanting up the things to appear for you, or what is the complete layout for you, right? So hope I'm very much clear with this respective project as well. So hope you got out a very clear idea regarding Python for Android. You practiced up some hands-on with me in the form of 3 different types of projects, and we used up almost all the widgets and the labels which we had seen onto the PPTs which were provided by me, right? So hope I'm very much clear with all of these things to you, and even hope you enjoyed out this respective video. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I want to request you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any new updates or video releases from Great Learning. If you enjoyed this video, show us some love and like this video. Knowledge increases by sharing, so make sure you share this video with your friends and colleagues. Make sure to comment on the video with any queries or suggestions, and I will respond to your comments.